Yeah, Duke, I was trying to find that picture that you had when you was on that hump, and
Hey,
that hump
L,
was beating
L,
you down.
did you record? You ain't recording.
No, not yet. Thank you, Sobo. My man, that's what I'm talking about. All right. And good afternoon, everybody. It's the man, Elder Eli L, and this is my co-host.
What's good, everybody? This Soulboat 11th Avenue Hobo. Hobo is an acronym standing for having overcome barriers and obstacles. I got to take a breath in the middle of it now sometimes.
Oh man, what's wrong,
Barriers
man?
and obstacles. What's up?
Man, we just sitting here chilling, man. But tonight, it's a kind of a special night for me, man. I wanted to introduce some of my brothers, man, some of my family members. You feel me? When I say family, that's my brothers and a couple of sisters that we was down with when I was in the military, man. 3rd Battalion, 9th Marines, and we had a bunch of young brothers that that we was cultivated by the group before us, and we started cultivating the next group that came after us, and we started calling ourselves the family. So I just want to just, holler at them. But before I holler at them, I want to send a shout out to Cool Onion from the class of West Side 1972. What's up, Cool
72.
Onion? What's up, Cool Onion? How you doing? I can't hear you, Auntie. You got your phone muted? She must
You
got me
mute.
muted. Huh? Oh, she on the phone. Okay.
Oh, shit,
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to send a shout also to my niece Brianna, and thank you
Rihanna.
briefly for Cheesy Sunshine for joining us, and also my
Easy
man
for
Sobo
speed.
11th Avenue Hobo, the
What's
greatest
up?
host in the world. You know what I'm saying? I just thank him for being rejuvenated in this process. You feel me? And lighting the fire
The
under me,
guy. It's the
and
guy.
help me keep it PG-13 because I want to get BET, Dirty After
Uncut,
Dark.
uncut after dark. That's what you want. You want the
You
uncut
know what I'm
after
saying?
dark. It was
Hey, but
gonna be
tonight,
all
y'all,
kind of. Well,
what you
anyway,
say, Sobo?
I said we ain't getting to keeping the uncut after dark. Um, yeah, that's all. That's all. Go keep going on.
Okay, and we got my main man right here, man, one of my partners. I've been knowing this brother since 1989, and we've been A1 since day one, man. And he's been, inspiration to me, and he also has been, what I'm saying, a confidant, and showed the crown and everything. And when we was at war, he was one of them brothers that kept me focused. You understand what I'm saying? And even we was going through all the racial stuff, strife back in the Marine Corps. He was one of the ones I kept a level head. But this is my brother, you know what I'm saying? He was not used to be, but he's a devil dog. Now he's a Q dog. And it's my man, Irvin Dukie Duhar, coming from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Deep town
The
players.
D,
All
the
right,
D,
Detroit
all right.
players.
Detroit
Woo!
player.
the
Woo.
D, the D.
What's up? What's
Bro,
up, Dookie?
bro, I like to. I don't need you to introduce me all the time.
Right.
No, ain't chill, man. It's always been love, man, from day one, bro.
Man, you already know, man. And like I said, I was waiting for some of the other brothers to come on, but they haven't came on yet. But that's okay because we still here and we're gonna rock with what we got. And but for those who don't know, 3rd Battalion, 9th Marines is one of the most celebrated Marine Corps battalions in the Marine Corps. One of the 9th Marine Regiment. We have went through a lot of changes, and it is one of the only Marine Corps branch of Marine Corps battalions that has lost its colors several times throughout its history. And the only time 3-9 we lost we well, first of all, let me go to the beginning. 3rd Battalion, 9th Marines was started back in World War One. That's when they first got started. You know what I'm saying? It was, I think it was on the East Coast at that time, and then they got shipped over, to the West Coast. But they went through World War One and World War Two. But after each engagement, after each war, they disband us. They take our colors away from us and disband us. And I don't know why. Hey, what's up, Cat? Thanks for joining, baby. You know, and one of the rumors that was started, the reason they disbanded 3rd Battalion, 9th Marines after every war is because the Marines in that unit were supposed to be some of the rowdiest and bloodthirstiest Marines that the Marine Corps had to produce, you know. And during Vietnam, our slogan was death in the dark. You know what I'm saying? So we specialize moving in the dark. We specialize, you know what I'm saying? And Lima's slogan was up from the mud and kick them while they down. So while you in the mud, if you ever know, been in the Marine Corps, been in the service, anything, when they come down to it hand to hand, you're gonna be in them trenches fighting. And our motto was when you're getting up off that ground, kick them a couple more times to make sure they're down. You know, you feel me? And it just was an honor and a pleasure to serve with these brothers, you know what I'm saying? And like I said before, Duke and them got there, we had some other older Marines that was there before us, you know what I'm saying, and showed us the way and showed us how to be the Marines we end up becoming. You feel me? But I don't want to, say too much. I want to let Duke, give a little history about his MOS and where he come from and his journey to get into the Marine Corps.
Well, as Chill would tell you, every Marine's first job is a rifleman. It doesn't matter if you're in the office, if you're the cook or whatever, you first gonna learn how to shoot that rifle and become hopefully an expert with it.
Yeah.
My journey to the Marine Corps, I didn't have a plan B because I had a kid early on. And I thought I was gonna be running track, playing football. Mom's cut that out. She was like, "This is what you want to do? So you better figure it out." And I was walking to get my hair cut one day. A recruiter cut me off, said, "What you gonna do with your life?" I was just like, nobody had never asked me like that point blank, and I didn't have no answer for him. So
Yeah.
I gave him my information, really trying to blow him off because I'm like, I gotta go do what I'm gonna do.
Right.
And he called me, came by the crib. I was still in high school at the time. And my mom asked me, was this something that I really wanted to do? Like I said, I didn't have no plan B. I
Right.
mean, I was in the streets like everybody else was, and we all know how you end up if you living on that corner, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, I was on my way. Fast forward, I come into the office. Chill was a Lance Corporal then, and I was a PFC. And they groom you, or they train you, call everybody by their rank, and call them by their last name. So I know every time Chill walk by, I'm like, "Let's Corporal Anderson, let's Corporal Anderson." And I know I was just getting on his nerves because I just had a bunch of questions. He was like, "Man, look, calm down. You know, we got together later. When did Wally become your roommate after we met?"
I thought Wally come first or you came first?
I think I came first, and Wally was shortly after.
Okay.
But making long story short, Chill took me up under his wing, became my brother, groomed me, helped me through some tough times. And like I said, I wish the other fellas would have joined, so you can just hear about the stories and the family that we really became.
Heard about.
We were so deep and tight. Even we got blamed for stuff, even when we weren't even around.
Yeah.
So I mean, my face ain't no. I'm sorry, Duke, but
No, you good, bro.
First of all, welcome back.
Thank you, bro.
What's this, your second or third time?
This is my third time.
Third time he an on-call veteran, y'all. Make some noise for him.
Yes, all right.
He an on-call veteran, Duke.
Thanks for your service.
And thank you for your service again. You know what I'm saying? But so it did apply to y'all. Moving in the night. Dang, because I kind of heard Elder act like, y'all, you know what I mean? But, I feel I was afraid listening to y'all talk about the lineage of y'all um, um, unit. You know what I'm saying? That y'all really got down through history. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so it did apply to y'all. But okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro. No, you good. I mean, it's just it's when the time goes by so fast.
Yeah.
For majority of us, we're together 4, maybe more years, and those 4 years go by so quick. Because although we are training, we still was having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Chill, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna say we party at least 5 days out of the 7.
All right. Is that
He
correct?
ain't, he,
Yeah.
he ain't laid back. I mean, he ain't who he used to be.
Yeah, no, he ain't. Believe me, I know. Auntie.
Blow them up, dude. Tell us all about
Hey,
it.
no, bro. Look, I'm gonna have to take like Michael Irvin did with Deion Sanders. He gonna have to sign an affidavit so I can speak on certain parties and stuff.
All right now.
Okay. We
But
don't want to do that. Here, Mary, man, we can't.
but we took care of each other.
Yes,
If
sir.
somebody had a death in their family, we ended up put our funds together to get certain brothers home. Because a lot of people think when you're in the military, they think you make a lot of money.
Right.
When I first met Chill, I think I was making $330 every 2 weeks.
Wow.
And we thought we was balling.
We so imagine that. I mean, times have gotten better, but it's still not the pay scale, just not where you would think it would
Where it
be.
should be.
So when you come home, people think, "Oh, you been in the military, you got all this money." Nah, I done had to save up about 6 checks to get this plane ticket.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But look, I'm humbled to be here. Chill, baby, I love you. Sobo, I'm gonna tell
Yeah,
you something, bro. The first time I was on, I didn't understand what you did. So for me not understanding, I'm a jokester. I don't know if Chill tell you, there's a lot of people, they get mad at me because I go hard in the paint. So if I disrespected you in any way, bro, I'm sorry. Because Chill had to tell me, I was like, Chill, I said, man, you know how I am. You gotta let me know certain stuff. But now that I understand in your mission that you on, bro, I'm
you
man enough
ain't
to
never
say,
disrespected me. That's why I
no,
say every time you came on, I thought the conversation was great.
okay.
I don't remember nothing, no problem or nothing. So
Hey, bro, look,
good.
I was in the back cracking jokes. You just don't remember. But from man to man, I'm telling you, bro, look, I'm sorry.
Was they funny?
Yeah, yeah, that was funny to me.
You were supposed to say them louder than, dude. You know what I'm saying?
So, but
How old was you when you went in the service? I forgot.
I
What'd you
went in
say?
when I was
How old
17.
was you when you went in the service? I forgot.
I was 19.
Oh,
You know,
19.
'cause I flunked one year and started school late, so I went a little later than everybody else. I was 19.
Oh, you went as soon as you
But
graduated from high school.
yeah,
Oh.
yep.
Yeah, me
But by the
too.
time I met Duke and them, I was already 21 though,
Oh, wow.
because I turned 21 in the Philippines before they got there,
Oh,
and they
okay.
got there once we came back from the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
So once again, I was a semi-grown man hanging around a bunch of teenagers,
Uh-oh.
you know.
I have a
But that
question.
boy, hey Lynette, what's up, man? Hit the link and hop on, fam.
Bree says she has
You
a
too,
question.
son Winstead.
My
Yeah, but Duke and them, when they came, this the thing about Third Battalion Light Marines. Every time they would reinstate us, you know it's gonna be a war sometime soon. Because Third Battalion Light Marines, their only job have always been is to go to war or to engagements or different things like that. Hey, what's that, Bree?
my question is, do y'all feel that the service changed y'all life by going?
Oh,
Of course.
most definitely changed my life.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we have some issues, just like every other veteran, we had a lot of issues. It was during the 80s. You know, it was the end of a lot of the old time super prejudice Marines were still in. And it was that new era of young black Marines, you had the 60 era Marines who were still black power going through the struggle. Then you had our generation, the hip hop generation came in. So we was super fight the power, Public Enemy and them, all them X-Clan. So, it was a lot of stuff going on, but overall it was worthwhile for me. You know what I'm saying? I think not only did it make me a man, but it made me appreciate, true brotherhood. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Something that was missing sometimes with your friends on the streets. You got friends that you grew up with, but and some of the friends you grew up with, they still be tight with you, but it's the difference when you in them trenches with somebody, you know what I'm saying, or your life is on the line and you got to depend on that person to truly. I mean, people, your life is on the line in the streets, but it's a little different when you got bombs dropping on your head and planes coming at you and different things like that, and people coming from every angle, and then and still have to deal with the racial aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it made us stronger. At least it made me stronger.
Hey, chill. You know what, Bree? The other part to that, like I kick it with my homeboys that I grew up with, but I know more about my Marine brothers.
Hmm.
I trust my Marine brothers and some dudes I grew up with,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's how
most
tight
definitely.
we became. Because, like I say, when Chill went to leave, I'm like, man, I, I, I cried. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh wow. Oh, he left.
I cried too, fam, on the ride home. Well, I left my car up there. They go, Matt. They go, Matt.
What's up,
A
Doc?
mother son asked the question. He said, looking back, would you say the risk was worth the reward, or would you change y'all mind if y'all could redo it?
No, I think
What
the
you
risk
think,
was
Dukie?
worth the reward because I got lifetime friendships now.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
right.
once
Yep.
again, I talk to them guys more than I talk to guys I grew up with.
Wow.
Yep.
And
Ain't
Matt,
that something?
so Matt,
And
Matt.
and, and, and the crazy part about it is I could be more honest with a lot of y'all than I can with a lot of dudes I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you still got it's like everybody wants their own little personal thing, but you have your guard up. You feel me? When you're talking to people on the street because you feel like, okay, they're gonna try to use this against me, or is this gonna be something that they could use later on down the line? You know what I'm saying? So it was worth it. What's up, Lynette? He ain't got his mic on. But yeah,
Nice.
yeah, but when Dukie first came around, though, he was Lance Corp Anson, Lance Corp Anson. I said, man, look, man, my name Chill. Call me Chill, man. Don't be calling me Anderson.
Uh,
Call me Chill, fam. You feel
oh
me?
wow, you
So
feel that's right. Oh,
yeah, it was like cause and then when I was a grunt at first, I was in Lima Company with them at first. I was the guidon bearer, but then I ended up moving from the grunts to the admin office. But like you said, in the Marine Corps, regardless of regardless of what you are, you're an infantryman first. Yeah. And then he said, we had mentors, Sergeant Winstead, he ain't jumping on, but he said we had Winstors, we had mentors like Sergeant Gunny Falk, and and he was a straight killer. I mean, he was a killer. Before he even joined the Marine Corps, the judge gave him a ultimatum. He said, you can go to prison for 20 years or you can go to the Marine Corps and go to war and go to Vietnam.
hmm.
And this is the story he told us. He was like, hey, I was already a killer, so I went to the Marine Corps and became a better killer.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Good for
gonna tell you a little story about Gunny Hard Dog, right?
Yeah.
We was over at San Mateo, and as usual, I then got in trouble, so I'm cleaning the toilets.
Mm-hmm.
He came through there. He was like, "Is that toilet clean?" I said, "Yes, Gun." He said, "Well, I don't think it's clean enough." He said, "Well, if you tell me it's clean when I get back, I'll do something for you." All right. So he came back. Now I'm putting all type of comment. I'm just mixing up stuff. cleaning his toilet.
Hmm.
So he came back like he said he was. He's like, I think I was a PFC at the time. He asked me, was it clean? I said, yeah, it's clean, gun. This man literally got on his knees, grabbed that toilet, stuck his face in there, and drunk from the toilet.
Hmm.
And got up like, hoorah!
What? Oh my goodness.
Hey,
That was his
that-
way of motivating us, to do better and be a
Wow.
man of your word. I
Wow.
didn't think he was gonna drink from it, but he did.
Wow.
his name was Gunny Hard Dog Harris.
Yeah.
He was my company. I was his guide arm bearer when I was in the fleet. I used to went to carry the flag for him. He was a spit shine, locked in cock Marine. You know what I'm talking about? He was like Dukie said, he was very extreme. He wasn't the rowdy like you got different types. He was a hand tight battle book Marine, whereas Gunny Folk was in the trenches Marine. You understand what I'm saying? But they both had that complexity. It was like, look, whatever y'all gonna do in here, you're gonna be a Marine first, then the black man second. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you do, if you're a Marine first, they can't take away you being a black man.
Hmm.
You feel me?
Hmm.
And
Well,
Gunny Hot Dog Harris, for those who don't know, if you ever watched the movie Snowfall, when they had when the CIA came in and had the raid and they had the whole warehouse, that actually happened in real life. And Gunny Harris' brother, they was from Compton. His brother was the original Snoop in Compton, and he got killed because of them that drugs that came up missing. Ended up being a big drug war in LA during that time period. And Gunny Hot Dog Harris, he's coming formations like I hate drug dealers, blase Skippy and everything. He said, but my brother one of the biggest drug dealers in the city, and a whole warehouse full of drugs that came up missing. So when y'all go to LA with this weekend, go in pairs. Don't act like y'all hardcore, but them boys kill on an everyday basis, and it's a warehouse full of drugs missing. So y'all be careful.
hmm.
That Monday morning, he came back to formation, said they killed my brother and Blase Skippy, and it was just like, and he just acted like it was normal, like it was nothing. Even though I know he was hurting because I was a guy down there. If you know him, you knew it. But at the same time, because of his position and how he felt on drugs and everything. And that was during the same time when we went to Honduras, Dukie. Didn't you go to Honduras with us?
Yes, sir.
And that was right during that Honduras time period when the Iran Contra, all that stuff was jumping off. And hey, Duke, you know what? I was just reading about that, right? Trying to get
Mhm.
some history about 3-9. And they actually had in Wikipedia that when we was attached over there to the CIA in Honduras. I couldn't believe they put that on Wikipedia.
That's crazy.
I know, I had to tell people stuff like when we were down there, how the CIA was doing what they was doing, and they actually got it on Wikipedia.
Wow.
I'm about to go on Wikipedia and update some stuff. Anybody can add anything on Wikipedia.
Yeah, ask most because it is a few things missing. It is a few
Mhm.
things missing on it.
Hey, Norman. What happened to Matt?
Hey,
What happened to Matt? Matt got off.
He logged off. I don't know what happened to him.
Oh.
Yeah, Sam Winstead said the CIA kicked us out. Yeah, because we was interfering with their operations.
See, I try to explain some of this stuff to my wife, but she was like, baby, that didn't happen. I'm like, baby, it's more bad things that go on that you would never think.
Never
Right.
think.
But
Ain't
she's a
privileged to.
legal eagle, so it's either black or white. It ain't no gray
Mm-mm.
area. I'm like, it's always gray.
Yeah, and that was during the same time period, Sobo. So you gotta look at us being from the hood, being black men, and seeing all our loved ones getting hooked on drugs and getting all these years for drugs, and we're over there with the CIA protecting them while they do what they had to do with the people bringing the drugs in and they giving them guns and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And money. So that was like you sitting back like, oh, a minute, this is.
Yeah.
this is double standard. This then they Bush them and Reagan talking about the war on drugs, and they the biggest drug dealers.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy because y'all were literally in the middle of, and all of y'all were from communities. Like y'all unit the 3-9. A lot of y'all was from communities that it was affecting while y'all were away defending the national uh, point of view. I don't know what I don't
Yeah,
know what being in about cocaine feel. I don't understand how that was.
I'm gonna venture to say we got searched the hardest coming back.
yeah, yeah.
What?
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Willie, Dukie, you still in the service?
No, ma'am.
Oh, you done came out. You made a 20-year career. You made a career.
I'm just well the crazy thing about me, after I did my time in the Marine Corps, I bounced. I got honorable discharges from all 4 branches of the military.
Oh wow.
I learned how to play the game. And if I was gonna make it work, I was gonna make it work for me because they sent us in under the assumption we're just pawns on the chessboard.
Hmm.
Like
Wow.
she'll tell you when we were over in Saudi, we were after. I'm glad they didn't fight the
Yeah,
way they could have, but they already had 80% of our battalion being wiped out,
Hmm.
yeah.
and that's when it hit me like, yeah, we really are pawns on the chessboard. So I'm like, if I make it home, they're not getting another chance at this.
Wow. Well, thank
So
God for that. Thank God you made it out.
yeah, so what I did was I would after I would do my turn, go to another branch, and it
Wow.
was all about the bonuses for me.
Okay.
I would find a branch or a job that was
Giving
offering a bonus,
right.
and what they don't tell us that you don't have to take the whole ASVAB test over. You just got to take that portion of it over.
Hmm.
Whatever you might be lacking in the engineering part, you just got to take that part of the test over.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
that's all I did. And I jumped, and like I say, I got my college degree out of that. And
Wow.
once again, I had a family to feed.
Yeah,
That's
I ain't know you went from branch to branch.
Yeah, man, I just went left. I did my Marine Reserve time. Then I went to the Army. I left the Army, went to the Air Force, and I went to the Navy, then the Air Force.
oh
How
wow.
many years you doing each one?
I got a total of 30 years on the books.
Oh wow. Okay. That's all.
And
Wow. Look at
Man,
you.
I never knew that, man.
Congrats.
bro, I thought we talked about it because
As much as we talked, I never knew
Yeah,
that. You must
you
have
know.
hey,
told me that during my kid high days. You must
Wow.
have told me that when I was smoking a lot.
yeah, I got
Hey,
what up?
wow.
no, go
Oh,
ahead, go. I'm sorry, go ahead. I'll bring it back. Go ahead.
No, I got downstairs in my basement. I got emblems, each crest from each branch over my TV.
wow.
That's what's up, man.
That's
So
awesome.
you a soldier.
Right.
Yeah. Congrats. That
Well,
wow.
I would say a
Tom
hustler,
Wentz said,
hustler.
so congratulations, bro.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you, dog. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Man, Dookie and Wally, and all the brothers, they travel on their own. They all got their flicks who they go see and kick it with. But Dookie and Wally have came back to Gary or came back to Indianapolis and checked on me, all the time. Duke used to come to Gary all the time and check on me.
Wow.
Even before I got shot, after I got shot, and I could tell when I got shot, you came back. I could see the hurt in your eyes, man, and me, you and Sean was still trying to, kick it and chill. And and that really touched me, man. You know what I'm saying? That, when you was I seen it affected you. You feel me?
Mm,
And it hurt me, not because the look that was in your eyes was the
hurt.
same look that my relatives had in their face. They see me laying in the hospital bed, my brothers and them. So when
Mm-hmm.
I saw you do that, it just like, dang, man. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I felt like I let y'all down. You know what I'm saying? I felt like me getting shot and going through stuff I was going through is I let my people down. You feel
Uh,
me?
uh,
That's when I made the choice. Like I can't do this no more. I don't want to let my people. You know what I'm saying? It
mm,
wasn't about me. It was
Mm-hmm.
about me not want to let my family members and my family members down because it's like, man, everybody looked to me for a certain leadership role, and here I am in this predicament. You feel me?
Now look at you. Look at you now, Elder Eli L. Look at you now. Got some college
Yeah.
degrees under your belt.
Yeah, look
All
at
that.
him.
Look at you, dude.
Hey,
Proud
But
it
that's,
took
of
a
you.
minute. God is good, but
He sure
that was,
is.
amen.
you
Proud.
But
know,
You're proud.
Sheila's always been a natural leader.
Mm-hmm.
It, it was just he had to go through some trials and tribulations to get to where he had to go.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's what God took him.
mhm.
Yeah.
Because we all bump our heads from time to time.
And Bree said that's a dog.
Yeah,
I like
Brady, you my dog too.
But
that's
yeah,
Hey,
bro,
right.
yeah,
Proud.
I was really hurt, but that's why I came up there. And like I said, we was brothers, man. So I couldn't
hmm
be that close to you and not come.
right, right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 You
And
got.
and V had called me on the phone right before before I've been on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the dudes I used to kick it with, his name was V, the one I used to rap with, right? So he called me on the phone. He like, yo, this V. And I'm looking like I snapped off a little bit. Like, nigga, they know I'm still going through it, bandaged up. I'm snapping on the phone. And he like, chill, man. This me, man, V. And then I call, I was like, oh man,
Mm.
my bad, V. I thought you was somebody, because I thought it was somebody trying to set me up. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
hold on, this ain't the V. I'm used to, even though that other V did set me up, but I was going through that scenario when he called me. So I'm looking like, hold on, but just to hear his voice while going through that madness, it
Mm,
gave me a clarity that was like, and I hadn't talked to V since I left Camp Pendleton. You know what I'm saying? So to talk to V at that moment, man, was just like, wow. It's like I do got niggas who love me. You know what I'm saying? And it was like because all the brothers on the street, everybody had their own agenda because of the drugs and all that kind of stuff, man. And it was just like it was refreshing to, like you said, talk to people. I talked to my brothers in the Marine Corps more than I talked to other people on the street, the people I grew up with. It was just like it was so refreshing to talk to you when you came through to see me, check on me, or talk to V. The only person I had back home was me and Big May, Sean. And
Mm-hmm.
then he had his own demons. So, I'm trying to make sure he's straight, and then he trying to make sure I'm straight because the stuff I'm going through. But we both got these demons on us. You feel
mm,
me? Because we went from one war zone to another war zone.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, but y'all kept me so focused, man. God, like I said, He put people in my life just like He put Sober in my life. You know what I'm saying? At this point, my stage in my life, like I said, my brother Mike and Bobby, them have been my consistence. Even though I got other people and my man Stormy Norman, I've been knowing this man since kindergarten. You feel me?
Yeah.
We've been knowing each other since kindergarten.
Kindergarten. Wow.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And we've been solid the whole time,
Wow.
So when you have certain people in your life like that, man, it's important you cherish them. You feel me?
That's
And you recognize what God gave you. What's up, Sobo?
that's amazing. That
I
is.
want to continue on with the 3-9 story,
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
but I have to just interject here now that Storm and Norman then came on. He reminded me to say right now, rest in peace to the great Roy Ayers. I'm
Oh,
sitting
Rest
here
in
doing
peace.
this podcast and I got a heartache. You know what I mean? I'm singing Roy Ayers songs in my mind also and listening
Roy
to you.
Earl. That's why I didn't know you. I didn't
That's
know.
the soundtrack to what y'all saying. Roy Ayers. Rest in peace, Roy Ayers. Hey, Stormy Norman. I was like, wait a minute. I forgot to say something.
You know what? Before you go on, I had the pleasure of meeting him 30 years ago.
Mm.
When
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
wow.
yeah, I got a chance. I got a chance to meet him and George Benson 30
Mm.
years ago when I was out in Arizona. I did I hosted an event and met Roy Ayers. It was him, George Benson, and this other guitarist named Earl Clue. They were all on tour.
I know Earl Clue is.
Yeah. So I mean, solid dude. I mean, Roy was a solid dude. I mean, he was always, he was always every time I ran across him, and then when he would come to our station and do interviews, he was always gracious. He was just what you see is what you got. He was so laid back, you know what I mean, and so encouraging to young people coming up in our careers and stuff like that. He was always positive.
Wow.
That's what's up. Now, Stormin, this my man Dukie, man. We was the Marine Corps together, man. We went through a lot of stuff together, man. Dukie,
Okay.
this my man Norman. We grew up together, man. Back like I said, since kindergarten. But he's also a host of a radio station called 102.3 Rejoice Radio, and we call him the Voice. You feel me?
Okay.
And so he was out there on the West Coast for a minute, out there in Arizona doing this thing while he was in college and in radio, doing radio and everything out that way.
My
But
pleasure, my brother. My pleasure.
All right.
Yeah, same here, my man. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. But
Good.
back to some 3-9 situations. Um Winstead was saying, we had some black or white, the Marines that was in our unit were, for better or worse, the tough of the tough. I mean, honestly, we had something around it. We led the first Marine Division in pop positive on the piss test.
Hmm.
But so many people popped positive on the piss test, they couldn't lock everybody up.
Mm.
When you have the majority of your battalion getting high and stuff and drunk, you know, but they couldn't lock everybody up. So it was a lot of officer hours going around. You know what I'm saying? And so we had the skinhead dudes, like I told y'all before. Sobo, me and you done talked about this. And Duke, you remember this when we was getting into with Tom Metzler and them skinheads, and we had the skinheads in our unit, and we literally was having riots and everything, race riots, fights here and there, man, and it was going down, man, and Sarah Winstead said he was a sacco. That's the person of substance abuse. Now, I had a substance abuse problem. I was an alcoholic, and I had wanted to turn myself in at one time, but they only give you one time and 4 years to turn yourself in. At the time, I think it was, and I was like, man, I need to turn myself in. But they was like, no, nah, don't do it because you got 2 more years left. But my man Sarah Winstead was a sacco.
See, I think we all was borderline alcoholics.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold a minute. Now, I remember when Willie was a teenager, I think, or a little boy, and I used to drink that old English 800 back in the day, college days. And he would sit on the stairs and cry because his Auntie Onion was drinking. So I think I might have missed that when he really was all that alcohol stuff. I can't remember that.
Look, they
Auntie,
came and picked me up from the airport. I flew back from Detroit. They met me up in LA.
Yeah.
As soon as I got in the car, he gave me a bottle of Cisco.
Uh-oh.
So that old English.
That was a drink. That was a drink back in the 70s down at Purdue, boy.
I'm just saying. We said that Cisco was watered crack, man.
All right.
yes, liquid crack.
Oh,
My roommate, Kevin Ryan, he the one that started me to drinking. We was in Casey Springs, and I had got hypothermia. So this one Marine, he was about to get out, and he did me so dirty. And he was a what they call a shitbird Marine. And he supposed to been, it's my first time going to the field. And I was like, when they give you a little list what to take with you, right? And he was like, well, you don't need this, you don't need that. So all my warm weather gear, he made me get rid of and said I didn't need it. All I had was a field jacket liner. I didn't have a sleeping bag, a scully or nothing. But I'm just because where we was at, it's like 80, 90 degrees. But in Casey Springs, at nighttime, the temperature drop all the way down to like 30 degrees. It'll go from 80 degrees at night to 30 in the morning. But I'm not knowing this. And I was out there so cold. and I was the point man. And so, I was freezing. I ended up catching I ended up getting not emphysema, but sleep apnea and all that kind of stuff. So I was just literally freezing to death out there at nighttime. It was just thinking about the grace of God. My other, teammates, Ryan and them, and they gave me an extra hat and an extra, poncho liner, and I need to stay warm. But it's 30 degrees outside, and I ain't got nothing to keep me warm. So when we got back to the barracks, my man Ryan had a 40-ounce of OE because he was an 8-ball junkie, and he had a 40-ounce. He had about 8 40 ounces in his wall locker.
Oh
And we
man.
were sitting in the hallway cleaning our weapons after we got back from Casey Springs, and I was still shaking. And he was like, "Man, take this." And he said, "I'm tired of doing that damn shaking. Take this." So I took the OE and I took it to the head. And after that, I was done. I was an 8-ball junkie after that, and it
All
was on and popping after that.
right.
But see, that's one thing because we go away so young,
Right.
and that's really because you don't know how you're gonna handle it.
Right.
You're too young to do this. You can't drive. You can't. Only thing you can do is go to the store, and they won't sell you liquor as long as you're on base and you got your ID. So
Yep.
most of the time, you find your sanctuary in a bottle.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And most of the time, it's kind of your manhood is based on how much you can consume.
Yeah.
So we've had some dark days, you know what I mean? But
So look at y'all now. Look at y'all now. I tell you,
God is good.
I'm
God
telling
is
you,
good.
Amen.
no doubt about it.
Mhm.
No doubt about it. He kept y'all. Kept y'all.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Man,
And
this
Chill had the party room. So
yeah, my room, we call my room the crack house.
Oh no.
But it was a play though. Just like Sobo, 11th Avenue Hobo, the crack house was a play on word because remember the movie Higher Learning,
mhm.
how Ice Cube room was?
Yeah.
Mhm.
My room, we had all the books, all the knowledge, but that's what we did our thing at.
Yep.
What's up, Sobo?
I had a question for Duke. When you was in the other branches of the military, um, did you have any of them kind of times in the other branches, like just like you when you was in the 3-9? And if you
No,
did, can you shout out your branches and the other
well,
um I mean shout out your divisions and the other branches because
well,
we want to get them love too.
well, I never got close to anybody where I got close to chilling them because I found out once you learn yourself as you grow, I have I guess separation anxiety. If that because
Yeah.
you get so close, then his time is up, then he got to go someplace else, or he's getting out, or he done took a job to go to Florida. We on the West Coast now, you on the East Coast. And we got to realize Facebook and all that stuff wasn't around back then. Well, we had beepers. So as I was going around, and like I say, it was really just a money thing for me. But I was in the 127 Maintenance Battalion in Detroit, Michigan, at the Detroit Light Guard Armory. I was at the
The Army,
huh?
that was the Army.
Yes. I
Okay.
can't remember the Air Force, the wing that I was attached to. I worked on the flight line, um, and in the Navy. That was out here. They didn't. It was a money thing for me, bro. But
Oh, okay.
I,
Okay.
I acquired like I'm a boiler operator and I was a welder, so I
Wow.
I got skills out of both of them.
Okay. There you go. That's all right. That's
But
all.
it was all about educating myself to make myself better for the future because, like I said, the military will use you.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
and they send us in like we go in under what they call an open contract. And majority of the recruiters they lie to you and tell you like they told my mom, oh, I fought hard for Irvin to get this contract, right? Once he get in, go to boot camp, go through SOI, which is the School of Infantry, he can pick whatever job he wants.
Hmm.
Nah.
That wasn't like that.
No, they send you to what we call the needs of the Marine Corps.
Hmm.
And where they need people at is the infantry.
Hmm.
And then the whole time I'm going through school, you having issues, you having, getting in fights or whatever. They always say, yeah, Detroit, we're going to see where they like to fight.
Hmm.
Because you got to realize they put us all together. You got people from Wyoming, Iowa, and some people that never even spoke to a black person.
Hmm.
So they put you together and just say, figure it out.
Wow.
And what's your default? You like, as soon as you say something wrong, I'm on you.
Hmm. Yeah.
And they had Detroit, Michigan, and Gary, Indiana, in the 3-9. How did that work out?
Oh my goodness, we had St. Louis there too, baby. You know
We
what I'm
had
saying?
St. Louis, New York,
Chicago.
Oakland. We had Chicago. We had from every major urban area. See, like Dukie just said, that's how you know when you're going to fight another war in the military. Because I was an admin, and I went home on recruiter's duty. And unlike his recruiter, I only recruited 2 people, and one of my recruiters was Sean May, and the other dude I recruited, I forgot his name, but I only recruited 2 people because I told him the truth. Like, look, bro, this is what you finna face. This is what you finna go through. Your scores is gonna say you're gonna do this X, Y, and Z. So I recruited 2 people, but they made me go to recruiting duty because I was getting in trouble with the back on base. I was getting in trouble because of the racial stuff, and they sent me away like out of sight, out of mind. And what we talked about when my man Sergeant Winstead was saying Gunny Falk was coming from India Company, or was India Kilo? Was Gunny Falk from India Kilo before? Do you remember?
I think it's Kilo.
He was coming from Kilo Company, and he was going to be in charge of H&S Company because I got moved from the grunts to admin. And that's when all the racial stuff started happening because they had crucified a vet and put a German Nazi sign on it and crucified it to my door. So
Hmm.
that's when all the racial stuff started happening. And so they shipped me out for about 2 or 3 months, out of sight, out of mind. And then so what I started noticing was a lot of they lowered the standards a little bit, and a lot of more black Marines, because the Marine Corps was the last branch of the service to get segregated. So they started letting a lot more blacks in. So I knew then that it was going to be a war coming because of the amount of black people that was starting to allow in. And then I got back to my unit, we got a, a gang of black people just started coming in. Because at first our unit was predominantly white boys, which a lot of them was cool, but it was a certain branch of them that wasn't cool. It wasn't all of them, but it was enough to make it be like they had a team called the Scout Snipers, and they was prejudiced. And
Let me
so
jump in real quick.
go ahead.
Is one key thing you left out of that when you were telling that story. Sobo, somebody literally caught a bat, hung it upside down, nailed it to his man's door, and carved a swastika in it.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was like I say, it was the room. Chill's room has always been the hangout room.
Yeah.
So, they knew where we hung out and where we were all going to be. But to catch a bat and hang him up, that take a different type of individual.
Yeah. And then see in California, in the prison system in California, and amongst the Aryan Nation and Mexicans out there in California, a bet, they have doves for their dead people and angels for their dead people. They consider a dead black person a bet. You see what I'm saying? So it had another meaning to it. You a dead nigga, basically. And they put it on my door. And that's when Gunnery Sergeant Folk, like he just said, had to do the field days. We'd have field days. They'd come through and they rub their finger up under your bed and get any kind of dust, you failed. You feel me? So Gunny Falk, He came through him and Gunnery Sergeant Ramirez. They both Sergeant Ramirez was the one from India Company. He was a straight SA from 21st Street in California. He was a straight Vato. And Gunny Falk was a straight chiller from wherever he was from. And they was like, we both gonna come to Tequila to H&S Company in a minute. We're gonna ship you away for a little while, out of sight, out of mind, because they're gonna try to kick you out of H&S and send you back to India, where most of the white people were at that was with the racial stuff. And so I went away for a little while, and I came back. And once I came back, he was the gunny for H&S Company. And even though we still had the racial stuff, we had somebody that had our back a little bit, that had rank. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody wanted to touch it. Everybody was afraid, because the stuff was going on. But once we got him behind our back, and he protected us a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But like he told us though, I can only protect you so much, so don't do nothing stupid. Don't ever be the instigator. Let them come to you, whatever. And that's how I started jumping off. We became more bolder in our defense of ourselves, because we finally had somebody that had our back. You feel me? And Gunny Folk, he looked like Gunny Folk had a build like what's the football player name? The old school football player.
From the Bears?
No. Jim Brown. He kind of he had that build like just a natural big man.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Put it like this. It was one time we were all corporals and lance corporals. Some were privates at the time. We got called to the colonel's office.
Yeah.
And that never happens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the colonel, he was a cool cat. He was from Chi-Town, but he was, once again, we got a fight broke out, and we had nothing to do with it. We was up in LA at Popeye's Chicken, and these guys got beat up, and we got blamed for it. Next thing I know, they were like, yeah, Colonel want to see you, Kurt. They were just like rounding us up. So, but.
Where was y'all in California then?
Yes,
Camp Pendleton.
Huh?
Camp Pendleton, California.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Now, the thing about it though, like to Duke and them, he was kind of a little bit more lenient. But to me and Wally, because we worked in admin, they was on top of our necks. And especially with me, if it wasn't for the Gulf War, I'd probably been in Leavenworth. If it wasn't for the Gulf War, because they was trying their best to try to make a case. They thought we was ignorant. They thought we was just, some young gang bangers and all that stuff like that. But we was very educated, you know what I'm saying? And it's over with now, but a lot of people, we wasn't doing we was doing smart stuff. We wasn't doing dumb crimes. You know what I'm saying? We didn't participate in that stuff. And one of the things about it, I told everybody, after it started getting real hectic, because it was my job to put everybody in whatever platoon they was gonna be in. So we started getting all the black dudes, because there wasn't that many black people in India, unless they really needed a black or needed somebody that was a particular MOS. I sent everybody to Lima, Kilo, and Weapons Company. We didn't really think a few people had to go to India, unfortunately, but we sent everybody to to where it was gonna be the more brothers at, and we sent them like, hey, when you get there, go talk to this person. When you get there, black or white, you go talk to this person. This person gonna make sure you get a fair deal and a fair shake out of everything. You feel me? And that's just how it was. That was the whole demographic from that point. It was like, we under fire, so we gotta be careful who we associate ourselves with.
Yeah, my very first roommate, he was out in Baltimore over the weekend for the CIAA games and the parties. So I went up there and kicked it with him. You talking about 30 plus years of friendship. Now, one of the boys from the block, hey, Irv, I'm in your area. What you do? First of all, what you doing down here?
Right.
But when my Marine brothers call me, it ain't no question. Cam, which is Cameron's not on the line. I think he was up in some part of Virginia. I said, well, once again, you done did the hard work. You're here.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was like almost 3 hours away, but I drove to go see him. So that's how close we are, and that's how, let's say, close knit we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
We used to go back to
Auntie.
California and stay in a studio apartment. And it would be a bunch of, hey, just grab some real estate. You wake up in the morning all cramped and everything, but that once again, that's how how close we were.
Mm.
Man, and we had the women, boy, we had the girls. I ain't gonna lie. We used to pop. It was so many of us. We'd go to a club, and before the night was over with, she been and gave her number to about 3 or 4 of us.
Yeah.
Not even realizing we was all together. Because we used to dress like New Edition them back in the days. Or Belle Biv DeVoe. That was our style. You know what I'm saying? And everybody thought we was an R&B group or something.
Yeah.
And we used to go to the Jungle, man, and kick it with Chi Chi, Mother Pops. We
Oh
used to go
my
to the
goodness,
Jungle,
yes.
man, and we was everywhere. We was all over LA just kicking it, and once the brothers came, like I said, even before they came, my other roommates, Ryan and them, when I was in Lima Company at first, before they got there, I was in Lima Company 3rd Platoon. We was called the Thunder and Third Herd. And they used to call our platoon the Rainbow Coalition because it was black, white, Indian, Mexican, and we all hung together and kicked it. But once them skinheads got to doing what they was doing, it made everybody kind of question their friendships, which it should have never been like that. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause we was all for the one accord, but they just messed it all up. You know what I'm saying? Ain't go some Sergeant Winstead just posted. He said Michael Barrett, he was the 17th Sergeant Major Marine Corps. Now Sergeant Major Barrett, he was the sergeant in charge of the scout snipers when we had the racial stuff, but he wasn't part of it. But those was his troops. I mean, his Marines up under him. And then he said Zickelfuss became a sergeant major over 30 years, and then Lieutenant Francis Donovan, he a major general. And that was and that was one of our lieutenants. I forgot what platoon he was in. I think it was Lima Company. And then Lieutenant MacArthur, he's a general, a full bird colonel. So we had a lot of people from our unit that was that went on to become, famous in the Marine Corps, so to speak, for being warriors, for being fighters and everything. And like I said, everything we did in the Marine Corps as 3-9, even though we was the more people on the pop positive on the piss test, had all the more racial issues throughout the whole Marine Corps while we was in there, and all the other kind of stuff we had. When it came time for training and came time for going anywhere, they would always pick us to lead the front because we was just that good in training. We had got we was I ain't trying to be funny enough, but we was good. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, when you good like that, when the war jumped off, they put us on the front lines first. You feel me? We was the spearhead. When you look at all the war movies, as far as when they talk about the Gulf War and you go to the oil fields and all that kind of stuff like that, 3-9 was the spearhead. We was the ones that went through the oil fields, broke the berms, and did all that kind of stuff. And like Dukie was saying, when we was over there in Honduras, we was with the CIA training. You feel me? We was over there with them when they was doing their thing, bringing the drugs in. And then when we was over in Korea and Japan, whatever the SEALs was doing over there to North Korea, we was over there basically chaperoning them around, watching out for them and stuff, not realizing, that we was becoming part of history. You know what I'm saying? That we was in all these different engagements that's not even on the books, but it's happening. That's why I was tripping out when I was telling Dukie that they actually got on Wikipedia that we was attached to the CIA over there in Honduras. I couldn't believe nobody put that in there.
Mm. Mm.
So We had a lot of good, and Sergeant Winstead, he used to call me Allah Akbar. He's like, all right, Allah Akbar. They gonna lock you up, boy. They gonna lock you up, Allah Akbar. But what was that colonel name, man? Because they relieved him of duty. When we was in Saudi Arabia, they relieved him of duty. Yeah, that's the second picture. They can't really see it. Dukie is going back and forth.
I'm shaking.
Okay.
Hold on, let me
But
see if I can.
that's one of the pictures I posted on the if y'all seen my reel, that's one of the pictures of reel that I posted of all
Yeah.
the Marine Corps brothers doing the second. We had two pictures. The first picture we took was the first group of family members, and then that was the second group.
Yep. Yeah, I saw it.
Even though it was way more than that, it was way more. It was way more of us than that. But those are the ones who showed that they did take the picture.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Brother Norman, I want to tell you something real quick.
Uh-huh.
That little picture, we used to take it to the club.
Okay.
And we used to use it as a credit card. We try to talk to the girls or whatever. And
Right,
if she didn't like me, I'll pull out my card. Well, pick one. Which one you like?
Yeah.
Wow.
We
And
was
it
a
worked,
mess,
huh?
man. We was a mess.
And it worked, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
what they say, if you got to show it.
Yeah. Cy Winstead said, you know you are legendary if they close your colors and then bring the battalion back once more than once. And that's what they did with 3-9. They literally retired our colors, but every time there's a real engagement and there's a war to jump off, they reactivate 3-9 because
Okay.
they look at like we need somebody to get in there and they ain't gonna play. They're gonna get in there and do what they gotta do, get in and get out and keep it moving.
So
You know,
y'all more or less like the glue to the whole deal.
yeah, other branches won't say that, but that's basically what it was.
Okay.
When it came to war,
Right.
we um like the Marines that came before me in 3-9, they literally got kicked out the Philippines because they acted such a fool the first time they was there. They got kicked out the country
Okay.
because they was we was just wild. But we was, it was good, it was a good wild though. You know what I'm saying? It was from the top to the bottom. I
Right.
know they had told us when I was in the Philippines that we had to be back by a certain time because we were supposed to be shipping out, and this girl I was messing with locked me in her room, and I couldn't get out. So
Mm.
when I found able to get out, it was like daylight. So I'm trying to make it back to the base, and one of the staff sergeants from Lima Company, he messed around and he was late too, and we both look at each other. Now he's my staff sergeant. We supposed to be like, Anderson, what you doing? But we end up catching a little jeepney back to the barracks, and we snuck in through the back. And once the gunny them came out, like, hey, what y'all, what's going on? We was like, we was trying to look for stragglers to make sure nobody was trying to sneak in. When we was the ones sneaking back in, you know what I'm saying? But it was just, what's up, urban dweller? Yeah, Simon Winstead said we owned the night, baby. Yes, we did. We owned the night. Yeah,
Sorry, Winstead on Facebook.
yeah, he on Facebook.
Oh, well, tell him I said
And
what up, though.
he hear you. He hear you.
Oh,
Dukie said,
okay.
"What's up, man?" But yeah, we had a ball, man, and like I said, what they don't like, even with in Somalia. Now I didn't go to Somalia with my brothers, but when you went to Somalia too, didn't you? Now they don't talk about the Marines in Somalia. They just talk about Black Hawk Down. But while the Marines were there, the Somalians weren't that aggressive. They were doing stuff, but Dukie was there, so he could tell you more than I can.
Mhm.
But
No, they knew better.
Mm. Okay.
They
Okay.
knew better. That's why they gave us a date to get over it and a date to come back.
Right. Okay.
mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Wow.
the movie is based, although it's based off a true story, but that's what gets all the the pub.
Yeah,
That movie Black Hawk Down, right?
Yes.
yeah. That
Oh, okay.
they did that after the Marines shipped out. And then
Yep.
also what they don't tell you is that the warlord that they was looking for, his son was actually in 3-9.
Oh, okay.
And he was giving his father the information about what was going on. Do you remember that dude, Dukie?
Yes, sir.
Whatever happened to him?
Hey, bro, he disappeared.
He was back home, huh?
He was either back home or he was,
Yeah.
brr, brr, brr.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know, right? And you know what's so crazy? My brothers now, we always were talking, kicking and stuff, right? And we talked about Saudi, but I left, so I didn't go to Somalia with them. I left right before Somalia happened. And when Somalia happened, I wanted to rejoin so I could be with my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Just like Sergeant Brown, Corporal Brown did when he got out right before the war happened. But because you so tight with people and stuff jumping off, and you knowing like, dang, my brothers, and the news ain't giving you the truth. You know what I'm saying? The news is not giving you the truth. So you want to be where your people at. You feel me? And but
You
they
know
never
what?
really talked about it with me.
You know
When we
what,
went to
Chill?
Houston, what's up?
That brings me like talking about Muriel. I know
Yeah.
Sergeant Winston know Muriel.
Mm-hmm.
He I ain't gonna say he developed a hernia, but something happened where he couldn't go to Saudi with us.
Solomon.
And he was so hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, bro, it's gonna be okay. Cause I said, look, you're gonna be back here safe. I said, we might not make it back.
Mm-hmm.
I told him my exact words to him. I said, somebody got to be able to tell our story.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, no, because he called me Jimmy. He said, no, Jimmy, I want to
I
go.
remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jimmy, I want to be with my brother. I said, but you can't. I said, don't feel bad about it. But I said, this is God's way of telling you, he has something else in store for you. But
Mm-hmm.
when somebody is really hurt because they can't go to war with you, that tells you, once again, how tight of a brotherhood we had.
Yeah. But
Hmm.
I ain't gonna lie. When I'm back in the States around a bunch of snakes and my homeboys, my friends, my brothers, they over there in Somalia. And I'm knowing like, Somalia. And like I said, they didn't share with me their adventures in Somalia until one day you didn't come to that reunion, Dookie, but we was in Houston and they all just started talking about it because they was all there together. All Wally would ever tell me about Somalia was like, chill, it was bad. And bad in the sense that the stuff they had to do, like they said they was the Somalis used to take their dead people and put them on the beach. And they had to go on there and pick up all the dead bodies and put them where they had to put them. But he was like, some of the bodies was just disintegrating in their hands as they picked them up. You know that? And he's like, I said, chill, I could still smell the bodies. I could still smell it. You feel me? And it was just like wow, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, they didn't. That's like how some Vietnam vets ain't gonna talk to you about Vietnam. Really talk to you about Vietnam because you wasn't there with them. They'll give you the cute little cover story, and in Saudi we talk about stuff. Even though Saudi wasn't, it was like a big drive by, but it got kind of stuff was people was getting killed. Bombs was dropping. You know what I'm saying? And like Sam Winstead, I don't know, you probably remember this. He was out there taking the dump in Saudi, or he might have been doing, I don't know, but whatever it was, he didn't have his gas mask on. And they did the sign for gas. And he was running to us trying to find his gas mask, but he left his gas mask on the water buffalo, which is where they keep our water at. And he running around like this, like, like trying not to breathe, but looking for his gas mask, looking like Flavor Flav, doing like this. And we was dying laughing. But man, you bombs dropping and everything. And this the oil burning, and he can't find his gas mask. And instead of us helping him, we was just dying laughing. We couldn't tell him the gas mask right there because we laughing too hard at him. And then after he put his gas, he got the laugh emojis on Facebook. But after he finally got his gas mask on and the all clear was sound, he started smoking a cigarette and he was like, "Y'all ain't shit." Sorry, son, Winstead. But you was looking so funny, man. But that's just how it be. In the midst of all that stress, something happened to make this bust out laughing
Wow.
like, man, you see this, man, you see what this fool doing. But that's just how it was, man. We know all them campaigns. We didn't go to Grenada. I mean, Panama. We were supposed to go to Panama. They had us on the parade deck waiting to go, but they was like they want the army to get their practice on. Because, like I said, they know when they can jump a war off, and Panama was just a refresher, just to get the army ready. But when we jumped off over there, went to Saudi Arabia and whatever, and do our thing, and like Dukie said at the very beginning, that they told us, they said, look to your left, look to your right. This man might not be here after this war is over with, because if they would have fought the way they were supposed to fight, we was, like he said, we was expecting to lose 80 to 90% of our people just trying to get through the burns. But by the grace of God, we had some white boys in our battalion that was farmers, and it was like, well, when we just put a rake on the end of the tanks and the end of the trackers, and just plow them out the way. And it was like, what? So that's what they did. The combat engineers literally put like some rakes on the front of some of the vehicles and the things, shot the Bangalore torpedoes over there to blow them up, and just push the berms out the way and push the mans out the way and everything. And it was just that simple. And the ground war there was just like 1, 2, 3, it was over with. Because
people always ask me, because I went through all the branches, which one do I like the most?
Mm-hmm.
And I always say the Marine Corps, because we do so much with less.
Yes.
We get the secondhand equipment. What's new to us, the Army, the Navy, especially the Air Force, they didn't use that 3 times over.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say we make the impossible possible.
Yes, sir.
So ingenuity at its best.
Wow.
You know what made me feel good though, Dukie?
What up, baby?
After I got out the military, I had met this brother who was in the Marine Corps. He had came home. Came home on leave, and he had got shot in the war had happened. After Bush got in office, the second part of the war, the son Bush, and he was telling me, my boy Capo was together, and he was talking about some older staff sergeant, a gunny, that was talking about 3-9, talking about the family. And I'm just listening, and I'm like, "What you say?" And he was like, "Yeah, my gunny was in 3-9, and he tried to make us, he wanted us to have the same brotherhood like his boys did in 3-9, Blase Skippy." And I was like, I said, "They call themselves the family," and he was like, and he looked like, "Yeah, how you know?" I said, "I was in the family," and he was like, "For real?" I'm like, he said, "What was your name?" I said, "Well, my name was Corporal Anderson, but everybody called me Corporal Chill." And that dude looked at me, was like, "You Corporal Chill?"
Yeah.
He said, "Man, my man talk about you all the time." And he didn't, I forgot, because back then, that's when I was still, getting drunk and high a lot. And when he said that, I literally, folks, I ain't gonna lie. I said, "Folks, my bad, excuse me." Dukie, see, my man going back, I apologize. I said, he was like, well, that goes back to what Sergeant Winstead said. What we did at that time period, other black military people that was out and about during that time period wanted to emulate our togetherness. Not just even, I ain't gonna say just even the black dudes, but just 3-9 period. We had some solid people that was down by law for what they were doing. The Hispanic dudes, all except for the skinheads, and even they was about their business. I mean, for real. We just didn't get along. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about 3-9, the 9th Marine Regiment, and the things that we did, in the war and after war and everything else, we were literally like the pinnacle of the West Coast, the pinnacle of the Marine Corps. We on every engagement we either had an outstanding or excellent when it went to the field trainings and everything. You know what I'm saying? Could nobody touch us. And we were, like I said, we was a bunch of rowdy whether it was from the country or the city. We was all a bunch of rowdy people. We was all like ready to go. Like, what you talking about? What we doing?
Yeah. We would go to the club. They'd be like, the family's here, the family's. We had our
You know
own
what, Dukie? Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, wherever we went, we were known.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just went wherever and just took over. We went to an Army base and took over the club down there. We just, we had a bunch of good times because, like I said, we cared so much for each other.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably one of the bad things we used to do. We used to go to a club up in Orange County.
Yeah.
We were all everybody jumping separate cars. And we throwing our flashes. We flying all the way. Jesus Christ. I know we done broke records getting from Oceanside, California to Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking all type of speed laws. We out there just wilding.
Drunk.
But
I mean,
we was
drunk.
together.
Man, I don't know how we got it, but the grace of God that we made it home.
Oh, yes,
and
sir.
Every night.
Yeah.
Because the California highways is treacherous.
Man, what my one question is, all of this history y'all got, all of this y'all have, why hasn't it been recognized? That's you know what I'm saying? How come it hasn't been publicly recognized, like how much of the glue and how much, you know what I mean, y'all really meant? That's my whole deal. Is like, man,
I would
they
say
mentioned
because
this, that, and the other, but y'all don't even get a mention.
no, I just think because like Chill said, because we were so rowdy, but we had mentors like Sergeant Winstead, Sergeant Scott,
Yeah.
even Sergeant G used to drive me crazy. We had people in my leadership, my chain of command, they loved me, but my captain couldn't stand me.
Okay.
Mm.
So every time we tried to do something, it was always basically we got labeled as once again thugs.
Okay. So it's sort of like when you try to pedal forward, it was somebody putting that brake on.
Oh yes, sir.
Okay.
Like I said, we got called to the colonel's office.
Yes. Locked in cot. Locked in cot. I had to go to the colonel's office every morning for about a month. I had to report to the colonel's office and just stand there.
Wow.
Just at attention. And this man, for whatever reasons, I don't know, he thought I was just a dumb nigga, but he would be on the phone talking about the stuff he was, what they was doing to us, to other commanders. And I'm standing there listening. And of course, I'm going right back telling my boys, I'm like, hey man, check this out. We're going to leave this weekend. We ain't going to stay on the beds. They're going to try and do X, Y, and Z to us and catch us up. And we would literally leave.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So whoever got caught back in the rear and some jumped off, it wasn't even us. One time they beat themselves up and said we done it.
Yeah.
But we was all in LA.
Wow.
I'm like, well, who done it then? Tell us who. We would literally have battalion formations right before a 4-day weekend. And they be like, anybody got anything to say? And everybody looking like, nah, we're going to get out of here. And I'm like, yeah, I got something I want to say. And I go right like, hey, such and such as you said. And now we got a whole, and everybody, even the fellas be like, chill, what you doing, man? We got to get out of here. I'm like, no, we got to address this now and get this out the way because we don't. By the time Monday morning roll around or Tuesday morning, they're gonna try to say that we've done it. So you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Best way I can put about it, if you look at all the old movies about different black soldiers or black Marines or black sailors that was going through the different things they went through, like the sailors in Great Lakes that was had blew up over there with the ammunition and stuff, and they refused. They had the court martials, and then the army dudes who had the court martials because of this and that. They try to do the same thing to us. But what
Mm.
did save us though, Dukie, was we had our lieutenant colonel. He was in Vietnam. Now our colonel was an armchair colonel, meaning he hadn't been to war. Our
Mm-hmm.
lieutenant colonel was had been in Vietnam as a lieutenant, a young man, and he was about to get out the military. And me and Wally said we worked in admin. So when he came back off of leave, he had been hearing all the stuff that was going on. So he called because he knew me and Wally. We worked for him. That was our, we worked for him. He called us in like, hey, what's going on? We told him the whole story from the beginning to the end. He called the scout snipers in, chewed them out in front of us, in front of me and Wally, made them turn their backs, and they disbanded the unit and was going to try to bring more black people into the unit. But then the war ended up jumping off. So they had to bring them back into play because their job was like the ones that be waiting in front of the battalion, getting information, sending it back to us. And my job, what we did as head of COC security, with the lieutenant command, Sergeant Winstead, the sergeant of the guard, we would get that information from admin and ship it to Duke and them on the flanks or whatever, let them all know what was going on. So their
Okay.
lives depended on us. And they came to our barracks right before the war jumped off. We was over there in Saudi. Once again, we took the officer's tent. We took over the officer's tent and everything, and they came over to us to talk to us and was like, hey, can we talk to you for a minute, Corporal Chill? And I was like, yeah, what's up? But my boys like, man, don't talk to them. Fuck, F them, F them. I'm like, nah, I want to see what they got to say. And they came and was like, hey, man, we know we didn't get along in the States and blah, and Skippy, but, we over here now. We Americans. We got to stick together and all that kind of crap. And, y'all, basically, we had to make sure they stayed alive because we could just cut their communication off and they were just out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
one thing Gunnery Sergeant Falk told us, be a Marine first. Be the best Marine you could be, and then they came to deny your blackness. So everybody in Duke and them company, the black dudes for the most part, was running the show as what they had to do far as being, Marine in that section. The dudes that ran in admin, we ran the show. The dudes in armory was the black dudes, they ran the show. The dudes that was in the medic, not the medic, but the corpsman was our boys, they ran the show. The dudes that was in the chow hall, they was our boys. Every person that you had to honestly, besides the captains and the staff NCOs that you had to deal with, they had to come through us to get anything they needed.
Mm.
And that was a plan we had put into place 2 years prior. So everything you needed, you had to come through one of us to get it.
Wow.
So now, and that came from Gunny Folk. He was like, just be the best Marine. And they can't deny you. You feel me? We was the plug.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They had to come to the plug to get whatever they needed. So it was like once the wood jumped off, it was like, yeah, what's happening? What we doing? You know what I'm saying? The radio,
Man.
Major and them, they was in charge of communications. So
Man.
it's like, nigga, what turn his TV off, turn his TV off. See, you got me, I'm on here cuss, I ain't cuss this much, not on how long. Not on TV anyway. You know what I'm saying? And
It's
so that's
okay,
just
bro.
how it
It
was.
happens.
Yeah, I know. And that's just how it was, man. So we ended up getting over there, like I said,
Thank you.
and then go ahead, Dookie.
Oh, sorry, bro. I thought I was off mute. My wife brought
Oh
me a
no,
Fago.
you good, you good. And we
But
messed around. And when the war was when the ground war was gonna start, because we had bombing for a long time, and they did the ground war on Martin Luther King's birthday. And of course we was upset about that. But before the ground war happened, our colonel got relieved of duty. Now, for a colonel to get relieved of duty during the wartime, his career is over with. But because of all the racial stuff he did back in the States and he was down with it, they relieved him of duty. And the colonel they brought to took his place was a little short dude. He was about my height, walking his tippy toes, kind of like this, little white dude. And when we had when they make the war plans, right, the old colonel used to make us get out. But our job was to watch the colonel back and make sure he was straight.
Okay.
When the war got ready to jump off, we can do the ground war. He said, "Who all this COC security?" And his whole COC security was Mexicans and black dudes, and maybe 3 white boys. That was it, which was all of us. That was in admin. And he said, "I want them in the room with me to see this whole map." So they literally showing us the whole war and asking to jump off. And they were like, "Oh, well, sir, they're not supposed to be in here with us. This is on your need to know basis and all that kind of stuff." He was like, "They the ones watching my back, right? They the ones that got to call in for the call for order for the strikes and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, yes, sir. They the ones that got to do this, right? Like, they said, where they supposed to be at. They just need to know." And after that, and the colonel, when he got relieved of duty, I was on duty the night he got relieved of duty. And all you seen walking to our tents was a bunch of stars and brass and, birds, 3-star generals and all this kind of stuff. And I'm looking like, what's going on? It's like 6 in the morning. So I was like, "Oh, who goes there?" I made them stop and halt like about 3, 4 times. And everybody had to say their name and rank and what they wanted.
You
I was
know what?
bored.
I didn't know that, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know what happened to him because Big Sean Black was his driver, which was another brother used to hang out with us.
Yeah.
I never knew what happened to
him. He got relieved of duty. Remember when we had to build them the concertina wires up and stuff, and we set camp up, and right before we went to the for the ground war started, and Harry Hawkins was out there. They didn't relieve Hawk of duty, and he said he was gonna shoot them all down with the 50 cal, and they didn't relieve him of duty.
You had to break up Hawkins.
Yeah, Hawk, that was our man. Hawk, that's my man. I talked to him about a month ago.
Well, I haven't.
Hawk was the brother that went through some situations, and when I tell you he had the whole company shook, he made himself a family member. He has issues. Something they say he was possessed. That's what the word was. And hey, even
wow.
I mean, he did some things that was physically impossible. And even our chaplain was afraid of him. The chaplain told us, "That's y'all friend, y'all deal with that." And go ahead, Dukie. I know you want to say something.
Hey, man, look here, bro. I want to sleep good tonight.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
Look, it was to the point where it was one night we was I was asleep in Chill's room, and they said he came and like jumped on my back. I don't remember that. Now Babyface is every bit of 6'4", 250. V, you talking about some well-built guys, and he in there just handling everybody.
Yeah.
They get him out the room, and they got him like parallel to the floor, the ground.
On the ground.
And he's holding on to the side of the wall, and they can't move him. So I said, "Wally, can you walk me to my room, please?"
I knew that night for that. Man, we had him on the floor.
I called my mom.
Man, we had him on the floor. You hear me? We was on his back.
Oh,
He was on
wow.
his back, and he threw all of us off of him. The same dudes he just mentioned, big dudes. He threw us
Wow.
off of him. He would, but he came back too, though. He came back too, whatever he was going through. But we was like, give him a piss test, anything. If y'all say he on drugs, give him a piss test, kick him out. They wouldn't do it. They was afraid of him.
Look, Jill, I'll say this last story about Hulk. We were on a ship, and I think we were going to Seattle for the
Yeah,
Seattle
that was right for the
Seafair.
war.
And he barricades himself in his little room. So once again, we on the ship. I'm kicked back in my bunk. Here comes one of his lieutenants. I don't know if I was a corporal or less corporal by then, but once again, his higher leadership is coming looking for me. They're like, Hawkins said he's not coming out of that room unless he talked to you. And I'm like, what? We got all this water to deal with. I ain't got time to wrestle with this dude today. But I went down there, talked him off the ledge, because he was dug in. And I got him up out of there. But look, I ain't scared of no man. That's something different.
Yeah, that was something different. I ain't gonna lie. That was something different, and it was like his whole demeanor would change,
Yep.
his face would change, the smell of his body would change, and it was like, he straight tell you, you can't do nothing with me.
Well, how
And
he get in the service? That put them all the problems.
it didn't. He didn't. He used to hang around a lot of the white dudes, and then one day all of a sudden he just came around us and wouldn't leave.
Oh, he wasn't in the service.
Nope, no. I mean, yeah, he was in the military. He was in the service, but he just started hanging around because everybody that was black wasn't in the family. We had one white dude in the family, and the rest of them was brothers. And the thing was, like I said, in order to join the family, you had to have a certain criteria about yourself. It was like like a fraternity or something like that.
Right.
You had to excel in what you was doing. And you just wasn't finna be no around the way guy, no shitbird, no like that.
Right.
I'm sorry, niece. My niece said she wants to sleep good tonight. But this man, auntie, when we was at the family reunion,
scary, like enough of the
yes,
story.
niece, it was scary. He said he made a deal with Beelzebub as a child. But niece, auntie, remember we went to the reunion in California, and the ones in the 80s. When we was in California at the reunion, and my Dukie came to our reunion. Dukie and Wally and them came. I got a picture with him and Vanish and all them at the factory and Marvo.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They came to reunion.
Right, I remember.
And they brought him in my car. We was riding back, and he was in the back seat of my car. I sat in the back seat with him, and he started doing some stuff with his hands. And I was like, if you really who you say you are, you don't need to do that. And he put his head down and came back up, and he was somebody different. And and we literally had to we did exorcism, we had exorcism and everything.
Yeah. So I mean
literally for real.
He had different person. What they call that when you got more than one?
Multiple personalities, bipolar, schizophrenia.
Yeah, he had all that.
It was beyond that, auntie. It was something spiritual.
Strong.
It was something spiritual.
Because you talking about, like I said, Babyface every bit of 6'4", 250, whatever. These dudes is literally laying on his arms and he's lifting them up.
Oh my God.
It's like he's about to levitate. It's like he's about to start levitating.
Right. Wow.
Burl over here praying.
Yep. I was singing hymns.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't about all that.
He walked in the room.
Good at home. I'm glad
he walked in the room one night and we was in our thing. We was just watching TV. Was hanging out.
Because I wouldn't have been no good at home. I'd been like, Lord have mercy, my poor nephew, and all kind of stuff. I just wouldn't have been no good. I'm glad I didn't know.
he walked in there and told some people to get out, and he said he was about to whoop everybody else in there.
Didn't
And
he?
I was like, man, not tonight.
I was looking around like,
And when I
about 8 of
tell
us in the
you,
room.
he damn near whooped us that night.
Wow.
Hey,
And he wasn't big as nothing.
he was skinny. That's the bad part about it. He was so skinny. And but he came through it though. You know what I'm saying? We came through it. And he had said that that the devil wanted him somebody to take his life so both the lives would be ruined, his life and other person's life. But
Okay.
after we had that last seance, we prayed for
Wow,
everything.
yeah,
Like they said, they
that's
went
crazy
to
about
the
that dude. Yeah, I done heard enough about that dude. Hey, Dukie, where did you play at Omega Sapphire?
I was Frederick, Maryland. Who asked the question, mama or
Me,
niece?
Auntie.
Hey, Elder, talk in your phone.
Oh,
Talking.
my bad. Thank you, Duke.
Oh,
My bad. My
it's
bad.
all good.
Where you say he played at Maryland? Where?
I played in Maryland. My chapter is Alpha Lambda Lambda.
Oh, okay.
I am a solo. I cross by myself.
Oh, wow. Is that right?
Yeah, people think I'm a little
They
crazy,
got a
but
line over one person. Wow.
well, I started out with 5 people, but they,
Oh, they didn't. Oh, wow.
everybody's manhood is set up different.
Well, I went to Purdue. I was a Kappa kitten at Purdue, and my
Oh,
brother.
free, okay.
Then my got cousins was Omega Alpha. I was friends. I got the most talkative award at Purdue, so I was friends with every fraternity and sorority. They all of them was my buddies. Yep.
See, Dookie, my uncle's a Kappa. We got cousins that's a Q.
Right.
And I was in college. I don't know. I think me and you talked about this. They wanted me to pledge Kappa like my uncle. But I was like, I'm a dog at heart. I can't,
I know.
you know what I'm saying? It was just like, so I didn't pledge nothing.
Yeah,
I was fascinated Kappa.
you recently said that to me, talking about you gonna play as Q because you a dog. I said, "It's some dog Kappas."
His shoulders
No,
don't do all that stuff. He can't.
no, I ain't with all that. My show when you do it. It can't do the shit. But that was and that was my man right there. You know what I'm saying? My brother. So it was like I just didn't,
I understand.
but, it just wasn't in me. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
All right. Well, that's what you give it partying with us down there Purdue all the time. He's a little bitty boy down there
Yeah, I
partying.
used to party with y'all, but I kept my eyes on the cues, and I like how they used to do it.
I know.
And Auntie, I am very active. I have held every position at the chapter
Oh,
level.
wow.
So
Awesome. Yeah.
I just don't. It's a part of my life, so I live this.
Sure. Yeah. I know. Yeah, that's awesome. You done did a lot of things to be a young man. I tell you.
Go ahead, Auntie. Keep talking. You know, baby.
Now, see, me and April, we went to his birthday party in Detroit.
Oh, for real?
He had a big old birthday party down there in Detroit. We drove down there and kicked it with him
Oh,
and his wife
I
now.
remember you doing that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
it
Wally
was.
came down, Wally and Cam.
Yeah, I remember you talking about going down there for that.
But that's the
Mm-hmm.
love we got for each other. We try to make those
Can't
Oh,
events.
can't beat that.
hey, Sergeant Winstead said his name was Lieutenant Colonel Wright, and he was replaced by Lieutenant Colonel Iron Mike Smith.
Mm.
And that's exactly who was. Remember the little short colonel that was named Iron Mike Smith. Thanks, Sergeant Winstead. And when I
Wow.
tell you he was a hard charger, that man was a hard charger.
Can you ask
My
Winstead to give me his number? I know Graham would like to talk to him.
Okay, Sergeant Winstead. Dukie said, give me your phone number because Graham won't he hear you. I'm standing over like he can't hear you. But yeah, these my brothers, and we went through a lot of stuff, man. And we was blessed to have the leadership that we had and the brotherhood that we had, the people that was with us. And like I said, I wish some more could have came on, you know. And we lost 2 of our brothers. One of them slow mo. He was from Chicago. His name was Allen. He he died right before the first reunion. He passed away,
Mm.
and he was the one that orchestrated the first reunion. You know what I'm saying? But he ended up passing away before we had it.
So he
But
wasn't
no,
one in there, one of y'all pictures that y'all got?
Yeah, he's in both of them.
Oh, yeah, he's in the pictures.
Uh,
Yeah, he's in the pictures. We call him Slow Mo. He was from Chicago. We called him Slow Mo Spasmatic. He was the first person I was seen going off in slow motion, snapping in slow motion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I
Everybody
saw
had a
him.
nickname.
He used to come to the skate rink in Gary. And I saw him with some Mickey Cobras back in the days. So when he first got to our unit, I kept looking at him like, know you from somewhere.
Mm.
And he was like, no, man, I don't know. Y'all said, man, you ever come to Gary? He was like, oh, he started saying, no, well, man. But when he first got to our unit, of course, they told him not to be around not to be around us because they said we were troublemakers. But he ended up being in our room and he ended up being one of the biggest party animals ever. But he ended up he ended up getting into the church and everything and, giving his life to the Lord and was a Sunday school teacher at church. So, all of us, for the most part, gave up our sinful ways.
There you go.
You
That's all.
know,
Look at that. Hey, Brianna.
we always some party animals.
Yes.
What you
Dookie
still doing, woke
here.
girl? What time you
You're a
gotta go to
deacon in
work?
training too. You're a deacon in church too, right, Dookie?
What time you
I ain't a deacon yet, bro. I'm still,
Okay.
I play double dutch, but I'm learning.
Yeah, I know that's right. That's all you can do. But yeah, these are my brothers. And like I said, my man Dookie, the guys of where I was at, he came and checked me out. Matter of fact, Auntie, when we was in Washington, D.C., remember when
Mm-hmm.
I came back to the room, I was drunk, and you tried to make me get in the bed, and I got in
Oh,
the bed
yeah.
too.
Hey, you go have
And,
your party downstairs. Yeah, you want to have a party in my room.
yeah, they came upstairs in our room, right?
Right.
That was
I'm
Mm-hmm.
like,
Dookie.
what the heck? No,
That
I
was
didn't.
Dookie.
Oh, wow. Okay, Duke. I'm like, no,
Him
you
and his
have a
cousins
party
now.
now. That's right.
Well,
Go downstairs.
this,
You was
this
drunk.
this was
Yeah.
black. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember that. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
was going to have a party in the room. Shit.
Hey, that's what we do. We party wherever.
And I think
I
y'all went
know, brother.
downstairs
We
to the
at.
lobby. I think y'all went downstairs to the
We
lobby.
did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's
We
right.
went down to the lobby. And we
Mm-hmm.
bought that what was that, Martell? That
Well, who was
Martell
with you?
BSOP? Or
Was
was it
Black
Hennessy or
Goat?
Martell BSOP?
Huh?
Was that Martell BSOP or Hennessy? What was that you brought up to the room?
Oh, it was a Hennessy.
Yeah, but it was expensive Hennessy though.
All right now.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah.
oh,
Okay. It's been really
Hey,
nice.
but we gotta get up out of here though, man. 'Cause my man Sobo got to go head to the crib. I
That's
mean go to
right.
work early in the morning. And under my wife upstairs, she probably saying this nigga loud,
I know.
loud.
And Brianna got to go to work. That's right. Everybody got to go
I
to work.
know.
well,
Go
me
ahead,
All y'all
too.
Sobo,
got
do
to
the
go to work.
shots out.
I'm retired, but I'm ready to get off the podcast anyway. But I'm
Sobo,
retired.
do your shots out, man.
Hey, shout out everybody. Shout out Dukie for joining us. We
Mm-hmm.
appreciate your service, brother. It's always good conversation. Shout out
Likewise, bro.
Extreme Bree and Cool Onion from the class of 1972.
All
That
right.
other West Side School, that
West
horse in
side.
hand.
West side. Who's that?
Shout out my crew, the man that rode the horse. I was plumbing. What up, Bray? You know what I'm saying? Uh, keeping Sobo 11th Avenue Hobo busy. Tank G219 Radio featuring A-Wall. Zach, what up, bro? I can't wait to see you again. My boy Teach. Shout out Mr. Johnson, Thurman Johnson. He lost a really good friend because he and Roy Ayers are really good friends.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure. Yeah. So our condolences to the ones we know who know. Um,
I thought Tay was on.
go ahead, Elder.
Yeah, I want to just send a shout out to Capo Ken folks and my man, my son, La Familia, Eric F.A.M.I.L.Y. And also send a shout out, man, to Storm and Norman for 102.3 Joyce Radio. The class of 1987. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in. Everybody on Facebook who tapped in, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in to hear me and my man talk about. And the crazy part about it, we didn't even touch the surface of the different things. We were just jaw jacking amongst us, you know what I'm saying? But you know, the things that the third battalion, Ninth Marines have truly done throughout the centuries, you know what I'm saying? It's been one of the greatest fighting forces on the planet Earth, and I'm just proud to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Even though it had me a little touched for a minute, but I'm still touched, but but God is good, and I'm working my program. You know what I'm saying? And if I had to do it all over again, I would do it all over again. And I would most definitely pick the brothers that the most high picks for me. You know what I'm saying? And I just thank the most high for them. And and I just want to send a shout out to Leo's Loving Care, my sister Wanda, thank you for keep doing your thing. Lillian's um Taylor
Love it,
Academy,
man.
thank you for doing your thing. I appreciate y'all. Keep up the good work. The American Federation of Teachers, thank you for continuing fighting for the public school systems in the United States of America. We appreciate y'all, Auntie. Thank you. Keep doing your thing. And one thing I want to before I take off, I always said that how God always put certain people in my path to keep me on the straight and narrow. And these brothers from 3-9, these was most definitely some people that the Most High put in my path that kept me on the straight and narrow. You know what I'm saying? And for y'all who know me and know me in that particular fashion, y'all know I always have different type of dreams and everything about certain things that's jumping off. And my roommate Wally, he's not on it right now, but he was my roommate. And when he first got to the unit, I looked at him and told him, I said, I already know you already. God already showed me you. So he gonna be my roommate, Even though I was a high rank, but I was like, nah, he need to be in my room. We're gonna be roommates. And
Wow.
then we was over there in the war. I had a dream about that we always gonna make it home safe. Granddaddy came to my dreams and everything, and him and Miss Miller, and said it wasn't my time to die. And I
Hmm.
went and told me, I told y'all the Duke, I went and told all the fellas, like, man, I just had a dream last night, man. We all gonna be good. We gonna make it.
Hmm.
And and they sent me back to the rear for a minute because they thought I was tripping, but they sent me, which I appreciate, they sent me back to the rear. But I was gonna send shout out to all my brothers, man, and all the people that loved us in third battalion, ninth Marines. You know what I'm saying? It's been a struggle. And I know sometimes, especially when I first got home, I was kind of hard to deal with. But I appreciate everybody, because PTSD is real. Even though I didn't kill nobody, but I got shot at, and I wanted to kill somebody. I wanted to come. I couldn't. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Oh, y'all see you, Dukie? Y'all see you got all 4 branches up there?
Oh wow! Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
He done been in
oh
all branches of service.
my
But
goodness.
I just want to just thank everybody, man, that that did join, and
Oh,
everybody that
thank you for your service.
and I know a lot of people saying don't nobody should join under President Trump as the president, but they said the same thing to us when we joined under President Bush now and everything. You know what I'm saying? So that sentiment have always been around. It's gonna always be around. But you make the best decision that you gotta make for you and your family. What y'all gotta do because being in the military has afforded me not only me but me, my uncles, my friends, my and my wife, her ex husband, her sons, my cousins, the military has provided a way of life for us. It was a foundation that we was able to build off of. And like Dukie said, if you work it the right way, it will pay dividends. You know what I'm saying? You just got to make sure you work it. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Before we go ahead and pray us out real quick. Let me get up out of here. Merciful Father, I want to thank you for another glorious day. Thank you for allowing my brothers to join us today on the podcast, Merciful Father. Thank you for allowing these people to be in my life because without them, Merciful Father, I know I'd have been in a lot of trouble. Continue to bless my brothers from 3rd Battalion, 9th Marines, and continue to bless those who got love for us, Merciful Father. And I know right now we're going through as a nation, but you have the final word, Merciful Father. And I continue to you walk with us and continue to teach us and continue to talk to us. In Yahshua's name I pray, amen.
Amen. All
Yeah.
right.
All
Well,
right, good people.
nice
I
seeing
appreciate you, Dukie, man.
you. Appreciate y'all.
Hey,
Yeah.
love y'all, man. Look, I
Love you,
appreciate it.
brother. You
Definitely.
already know. Hey,
Until we see each other again, Auntie.
yes, sir.
Thank
Remember
you.
that hat I
Y'all.
had on that
Hey,
day? You said you like that dog, the brown, the two-tone brown?
Yes, sir.
I got that from a dude at the VA that worked at the VA, and he from Detroit. He come around and sell stuff.
Well,
I meant to say that then.
Well,
All right.
plug me in, bro.
Good
Yeah,
night.
I got his phone number. I'm gonna call him. He be selling stuff online. All
Okay.
right, y'all.
I talk
I
y'all.
appreciate y'all. Sobo 11th Avenue,
Bye,
Hobo.
everybody. He
The great
gone.
as ever. I appreciate y'all.
All
He
right.
like, I'm tired of y'all.
Willie, see
I
y'all later.
know. He gotta go. He gotta get before in the morning to go to work.
Well,
me
good
too,
night.
bro.
Well, good night. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Good night.
Later, y'all.
Love
All
you.
right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Norm. Appreciate
Yes,
you, man.
yes, sir.